Welcome back to another Daily News with the hockey coach Guru Coach FRENCHY. Today, episode number 327. What the minute coach? First of all, guys, let's talk about the Montreal Canadiens for the season 2023-2024. They need to finish at the bottom 10. What? It is what it is. Then, following for the Montreal Canadiens, some news. And finally, I'm going to talk about another proposal trade Montreal Canadiens rumor. But before we start, we invite you, please don't forget to click on the like, subscribe to the Hockey Nation Show, and leave us a comment about this episode. And let's dive in and talking about my first subject of the day. Montreal Canadiens 2023-2024. They need to finish at the bottom 10. What are you talking about, coach? First of all, guys, Montreal, 2 years ago, they finished at the bottom of the NHL standing. Last year, they jumping to 28. Pretty good. They have more points in the standing. With all the injuries, we have to give credit for the performance of the Montreal Canadiens players and the coach, Martin Saint-Louis. Now, what is my expectation for upcoming season, guys? Montreal Canadiens approximately are going to be between 24 to 26 in the standing. If we add 6 more points, I expect them to finish about 78 points next season. Compared for the standing last year, that gave them a ranking about 8 in the bottom of the NHL standing. Why you want to do that, coach? First of all, guys, in 2023 and 2024 draft NHL, they have a lot of great right defensemen and right winger. Montreal Canadiens need to draft another great solid player, top 6 or a top 3 best defenseman for the team for the future. They're still missing a couple of pieces of the puzzle. And I think Montreal need to finish one more year and the bottom 10 in NHL standing. This year, this summer, the next couple of weeks, Montreal no need to add a UFA top 6 players and pay over $6 million. It's not the time yet. It's better for the Montreal Canadiens to improve their standing with a number of points, but they need to constantly to focusing on the prospect players they have for the development. We still have a lot of prospects need help. Jacky, Cooley, Kovacevic, he's a rookie last year. Harris, Barron, Caulfield, Doc, Suzuki, Sapkowski, RHP, who knows, Allen or Enneman, or maybe other prospects like maybe Roy, Beck, or Mailloux could join the roster for 2023-2024, and we need to focusing on them to make them better. This is, for me, really important year again for the Montreal Canadiens to work on their development for the Montreal Canadiens prospect. It's time now to trade Edmondson and Hoffman. Why? Because we open spot for the prospect I'm just talking about. We need to focusing on them. Edmondson is not the one we're going to looking in the next couple of years to stay with the Montreal Canadiens, and same way with Mike Hoffman. And 2024-2025, Montreal is the time to add now a UFA. Position top 6 forward, maybe a right defenseman, maybe a goaltender. And that summer 2024, next year, Montreal is time to trade Jake Allen, Joel Armia, Christian Dvorak, and David Savard. We have to turn around and to increasing the number of the prospects on the Montreal Canadiens and add better players for what we just mentioned the name right now. This is going to be a really important year again for the season 2023-2024 for the Montreal Canadiens. Stay in the bottom 10, possible bottom 8. That will helping the future on Montreal Canadiens. But I would like to hear from you guys. Leave me a comment. Tell me what you think about my suggestion for the Montreal Canadiens finish again one more year at the bottom 10, increasing the number of the point and the standing, but focusing more on the development. And that's conclude, guys, my first subject. Let's move on for my second subject of the day. The second subject of the day, guys, about the Montreal Canadiens news. Not big, but a couple of more information you need to know. First of all, guys, the Pierre-Luc Dubois saga, drama, whatever you want to call it. We heard the Los Angeles Kings, the Wild, the Avalanche, the Hurricane, and the Montreal Canadiens are in the race to get Pierre-Luc Dubois. It looked like the King are the favorite team to get Pierre-Luc Dubois. Montreal, I believe, does not have enough asset for what the Winnipeg Jets looking for. A lot of people said they're not going to get nothing in return, not much. I'm telling you right now, they're going to get a lot in return for Pierre-Luc Dubois. But I feel at that moment, Montreal is out of this race. Next news. Montreal Canadiens look like they're going to skip on Michkov, and they're looking more for to pick Ren Leonard over Michkov and Reinbacher. This is what we heard the last couple of days. If Smith, Fentley, Carlson, and Bedard are already out of the board, look like the Montreal Canadiens are going to select Ren Leonard. Finally, the last news of the day for the Montreal is the ex-Montreal Canadien, Patrick Roy, leave the Quebec Rempart with Jacques Danguay. So it's going to be over 20 years, both of them working with the Quebec Rempart. This is a huge, major news in the Quebec City area. And we'll see what is next for Patrick Roy. Some rumors mention both of them with the Ottawa Senator by the time we tell us. But this is what we got, guys, for the Montreal Canadiens news. I would like to hear from you. If you have any comment about Pierre-Luc Dubois or Patrick Roy, or with the 5th overall pick, the selection of Ren Leonard. Let's move on, guys, for my last subject of the day. This is the best time for me for the rumor on this episode, because I like to talk about friend transaction Montreal could do. And today, guys, I go with who? The Vancouver Canucks. The problem they have is huge. Their salary cap is full. They don't have no leverage to sign more players, and they have to. So I look at the lineup. Some rumors talking about Connor Garland, possible to get trade. He still have 3 years, guys, approximately $5 million. That's too much. Now, the Vancouver, I look on the roster again, and then I look at, and one player is on his last year of his contract is Tyler Myers, the right defenseman, $6 million. But what am Montreal going to get him? Is because that will give Montreal Canadiens, remember last year, the Calgary Flame, Sean Monahan, and the first round pick. And why? Because the Flame need money to sign Kadri. And that could happen again for this year for the Montreal Canadiens if they could make some kind of deal with the Vancouver Canucks. So I have two different transactions for the Montreal Canadiens with the Vancouver Canucks for Tyler Myers. First of all, guys, Montreal Canadiens get the 11th overall pick 2023 for the Vancouver Canucks plus Tyler Myers at $6 million. In return, Montreal Canadiens give them the Fleur Panthers, the 31, plus the third round pick at 69 overall pick, and Jesse Allen. That's a lot compared for Monahan and first round pick for Nathan. I will tell you why. Because the 11th overall pick, guys, is really a really good hockey player, and the draft 2023 is really good one. The fact they gave them the 2025 first round pick from Calgary, you don't know what could happen there. But right now, if you think about what could select, maybe a Benson, maybe Oliver Moore, Sadden Pelika. Can the Vancouver open the door to do that? I'm not sure. So what I'm thinking, let's go to another trade for the Montreal Canadiens with the Vancouver Canucks. If Vancouver decide, guys, to keep the 11th overall pick, it does make sense to me. Montreal could get Tyler Myers with the first round pick for the Vancouver in 2024, but protected by the Vancouver Canucks for the bottom 10. And Montreal going to give them the fourth round pick 2023. That's what we got, guys, for this proposal between the Vancouver Canucks and the Montreal Canadiens. First of all, would you like trade number 1 or trade number 2? And what do you think, Montreal could do that or not? Do you think Vancouver will refuse one of them, both of them, and or you think it could be a really good deal for trade number 1 or trade number 2? And that's concluded, guys, all the subject we have on this episode. Here we go. Hopefully you enjoyed the episode number 327. But before we leave, of course, don't forget to click on the likes, please. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And maybe sharing this on your social media. And of course, I would love to hear from you. Leave me a comment. And remember, you have greatness inside of you. And I will wish you an amazing, blessing day, everybody.